Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello,
Hello?
Silas.
Hey, what's up, James?
Hey, how's it going? How are you doing
Hey,
tonight?
what's going on? I'm all right. Yourself?
Can't complain. So far, so good. And I want to go ahead and thank you, for taking time out of your day and going ahead and going live with us and making this phone call and answering any questions that our guests will be hopefully providing with us or providing to us shortly. And
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
perfect, perfect. Thank you. Likewise. Last time uh, we spoke, or the last two conversations that we've had, we've done it a little bit different. I've had these questions to kind of get to get to know you, beyond what you did to get yourself in prison. Kind of want to get to know you at a different level, if you will. I've only been able to get through 7 of those questions so far. The first video 3, last video we did 4. So today we'll continue on the eighth through the 12th question, and it'll go ahead and give the opportunity and me also, to get to know you at a different level, if you will.
Well, sounds good. Sounds good.
All right, perfect. But before we go ahead and do
Um,
that, I do remember LA analyst. She had asked you a question if you knew any funny stories in prison at the moment. I believe you couldn't think of any, or nothing came to mind, and hopefully you have something in mind
right,
now.
right. We kind of diverged onto a different path, and I kind of forgot about that. I just remembered it earlier. So yeah, so this is probably I guess like maybe 2005. I was on Sea Yard in Salinas Valley Prison, and I was a porter at the time, and so I was out in the section working, and I had passed something downstairs for my Vietnamese neighbors that were upstairs, and one of his buddies, Eric, was right next door to me. He was Vietnamese also, and so I take it down to his door, and he yells upstairs to the guy that was upstairs. He asks him, "What did you get for $50?" And the guy upstairs says, "Everything." He says, "Everything?" And he says, "Everything." And Eric starts saying, "Oh, me so horny, me so horny." Well, well, for those of you that don't know, that's a play on is it Full Metal Jacket? Is that what it is? Full Metal Jacket?
It's one of those war
I
movies.
believe it's Full Metal Jacket. Right. So I know it's not. I don't think it's Hamburger Hill. I think it's Full Metal Jacket. Well, there's a scene in there where a Vietnamese prostitute, one of the soldiers asks him, "What do you get? What do we get for $20?" And she says, "Everything." And then she goes on and starts saying, "Oh, me so horny." But it was funny in that moment because they didn't miss a beat during the dialogue, and because culturally, they were both Vietnamese. So it was like I couldn't say something like that, but the fact that they did made me laugh really hard. Like it was really funny in the moment to hear him do that.
And
Yeah.
I'm actually looking it up right now, and that's the wonderful thing about technology is at your fingertips. And yeah, that is in Full Metal Jacket in 1987, and also some people might remember hearing it and they weren't aware that it was from Full Metal Jacket, and also came
Oh,
out
True
on
Live
a,
Crew.
that is correct. Yep, you got it.
True
Ding ding
Live
ding ding.
Crew.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that I mean, it's crazy. Like there are moments of brevity and light in here that it's not all doom and gloom in here. There's some really light moments in here, as tense as it can be, and as serious as a place as this is. There Yeah, people don't walk around here just frowning all day, every day. I mean, we're already in a position where we're up against it. So, I mean, you got to have some type of humor about yourself, or you go crazy in this place.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Yeah, you guys can't be walking around like robots with all these rules and regulations, and at least have something to laugh about here and there. Obviously everybody's not gonna be walking around laughing and joking all day, because I mean you're definitely in a serious place, and you don't want people to think that they could get over on you. I mean, something like that could be detrimental to you, to your health. If
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. But I figured, I mean, hope uh, um, I'm glad you shared that that little funny story with us. I mean, 2000 you said 2005, man. Was that the only funny story in in the last 20 years you got?
I mean, there've been a couple. There've been a couple, but that's the one that kind of stands out in my mind.
All right,
You know,
all right.
I mean, the kind of funny stories that I have, like, would not, I don't think would be funny to the actual, to people out there. Like, okay, for instance, we're on the yard, and this is maybe like probably around the same time, and these two guys, these two brothers, they're supposed to be rolling this cat up off the yard. Rolling somebody up is when you either jump on somebody, you attack them.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
You either attack them by stabbing them or fighting, beating them up. So these two guys, they're supposed to remove this guy, and it was a 2-on-1, and they were just supposed to fight him and beat him up and remove him off of the yard. Well, it was two young cats that were probably around my age at the time. I was in my 20s, at early 20s, at mid 20s at the time. And so they approach him, and one of them punches him, and the other one is just standing there instead of both of them just attacking him. And so the older guy that they're attacking, he backs up and sticks his hand down the back of his pants. Well, for anybody who don't know, like, most people carry weapons either like in the front or in the back. And so when he did, they backed up and they just froze and asked him, "Are you going to stab us?" and and he just backed up, and with his hand in his pants, he flossed him like he had a weapon, backed up, got into the building, and he just left the yard. Well, to me, it was funny because, first of all, like, if you're attacking somebody, like, you should lay into them, like, and they just were playing. And then the second thing is just like, you attack somebody, but when he pulls a weapon, you ask him if he's going to harm you for trying to attack him. So,
Yeah.
like, stuff like that, like, I got like a pretty dark sense of humor. So, you know, little things like that might not be, to the observer in society, might not really be a quote unquote a funny story. So, yeah, I'm a little macabre with my humor.
And something like that, did that affect them, since they were kind of, I would consider that kind of like half stepping, half stepping. They weren't really. They were probably just doing it because they were
Oh yeah,
obligated.
right, and both of them ended up getting attacked and removed from the yard for not doing it right.
Oh, okay, yeah, that didn't end up too funny, right? Well, at least for them.
Yeah,
And how long did it take for them
yeah.
to actually pay for that incorrect removal, if you will?
Oh, the very next yard, very next yard.
And how young were they?
They were my age, maybe mid to late 20s at the time.
Okay,
They were young. They were
yeah.
really young.
Imagine they try to remove that dude. They didn't do it right. They got removed too, and they all ended up on the same on the same yard when they rolled it up.
Yeah, yeah. Stranger things have happened, believe it or not.
And when they attacked this gentleman, did the officers notice, or did it go unnoticed?
No, it was unnoticed. It was unnoticed. This was back in, like I said, the early 2000s, and this is when all four buildings were coming out on the yard. So I mean, there was just a sea of humanity. Like it was difficult to see across the yard. So, now they've taken security measures to where they only let top tier out or bottom tier. They changed it, or they do on 180s on level fours maximum security. They'll do two buildings.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
But back then, there were just so many people that, I mean, I can't even tell you how many times I've seen people knocked out or, just laying on the yard, and then just people move, and then they put the yard down because they see someone laying on the ground.
Mm. Mm. Wow. Never. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Even at the county jail level. But I guess prison is way different than county jail.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It's actually way different now than it was back then. I mean, I think back 20 years ago when I was up there in Salinas Valley and just like being on the yard like this. I mean, camp was rougher than this yard that I'm on right now. I mean, in Camp Gonzalez, like, I mean, as a teen, I mean, that was pretty brutal. Just the whole landscape of prison has changed. I mean, even on like what people would consider a tough yard now, I mean, the level of violence is just nowhere near the level of violence that there was 20 years ago. Like, it's just night and day. I mean, don't get me wrong, bad things happen, and, unfortunately people, get assaulted and killed. This is prison, but at the rate that it was happening back then, like, I mean, it happened so much that you just become numb to it. I mean, I think I was talking to somebody, and I made an observation, like, the first stabbing that I saw in the yard, like it frightened me, like I was, intimidated and scared, and like I internalized that, but I weaponized it, my fear as well, and so I became a victimizer, so I wouldn't become a victim in my eyes. That was the only two choices, and I was telling someone that in 2013, 14, I saw a brutal stabbing in Kern Valley, and where the whites had just annihilated this guy on the yard. And had my bag going up to go to canteen, and I sat down and I saw it. They finished, and I turned around and I looked at one of my buddies, and I said, "Man, we're probably not going to be able to make it to the store today, are we?" Like, because that's what you do. Like, you have to compartmentalize that and put it away, because if you internalize every single violent event that you saw in prison, like, you lose your mind, you go crazy, So, I mean, it kind of makes you callous, though, in a way too, because it takes away your humanity, because you harden yourself to this reality because you see it every day, and it becomes normal, So, I've gone from someone who saw my first stab in 2002 and feeling bad for the guy that was victimized, and, to looking at this guy, lose his life on the yard, and ask someone, damn, do you think they're going to hurry up and finish this so we can go to the store? Like, that's just what this place does to you,
But I think those, even in society right now with the things that are going on, I think a lot of people, that's how they normally deal with things of that nature, or not even stabbings. I'm like in LA right now, or I know of a year or two ago, man, people are getting through, losing their apartments for not being able to work, or running out of funds, in the middle of the pandemic, and they were living outside the apartment that they were just renting last month, and they had all their belongings out on the street and whatnot, and then people are walking by like it's like a regular old day. Hopefully it doesn't
You
affect
have
them.
60 seconds remaining.
So I think everybody does that. When it comes to things of, I mean, obviously you can't compare a stabbing to somebody being homeless on the street, but just the way that
but I mean,
people
it's
deal stuff.
traumatic
Yeah,
nonetheless.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I can see how people, they harden themselves, because I mean, you can't help everybody, so it's like, what are you gonna do? Like it sucks, but part of the human thing to do is just, when you can't help it, is just to look away.
Yeah. I know she went ahead and announced the 60-second mark. I know it's about to be cutting off. So if you want to go ahead and give me a call back, and then I'll go ahead and start off with the questions.
Okay.
All right, cool. Thank you. All right, and you guys should be used to this by now. It's these calls cut off in within 15 minutes, and I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Aquatic Amigo. Always showing support, and really appreciate it. And good evening to you as well. Do anything exciting this weekend, or any plans?
This call is now being recorded.
This is Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Silas Johnson.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
All right, and thank you for calling us back. I just wanted to go ahead and let you know that we have Aquatic Amigo in here. Is wishing us a good evening, and he's been supporting for quite some time. I mean, it's not like we've been doing this podcast for years or whatever, but I think it's been about a month now, and he's definitely been putting comments and asking questions and whatnot. And I just want to go ahead and give a thank you because you know all this that they're doing, watching, thumbs up, and putting comments is definitely helping us to get into that algorithm and push out this message.
Absolutely, yeah. And thank you for following through, Aquatic Amigo. We appreciate it.
Definitely 100%. All right, so I'm looking at the questions. I believe so. Actually we got all the way through question number 8. So I'll start off with question 9. All right. So question number 9 is going to be, if a crystal ball could tell you the truth about your future or anything else, what would you want to know?
Uh, I don't think I would want to know anything. I don't really. I think that. I mean, one of the most beautiful things about life is the stories, our individual stories. I believe, but the second and probably the most important is the mystery of it all. I mean, whether you're talking about the mystery of creation, or our existence, or an ultimate reality. Um, I think that that's the way it should be. I wouldn't want to know any empirical truths uh, regarding my future or an ultimate reality or destiny. I think the mystery is actually one of the most beautiful things about life. So I wouldn't want to know anything.
You know what? I think I'm just greedy. I think I would ask that crystal ball. Who should I have invested in? And I would have definitely invested into Apple, Bitcoin, and anything else that would have lined my pockets with a whole lot of money.
Maybe that's the narcissist in me. I think that I got enough to build my
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I'm confident enough that I think that one way or another, this is gonna happen. Like this is going to hit. Like, man, I got my hand in so many different pies that this is happening. Like, yeah. I mean, probably the one thing, like, so something petty, for me. Well, let me take that back. It's not petty for me, but like the Eagles winning the Super Bowl or something like that. But then, like, even if that was the case, like, I'd be horrified if the answer was no. Like,
Yeah.
so I really wouldn't want to know.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Yeah, some things you just rather it's just better off if you don't know the truth about it. All right, so
I
we'll
think
go.
I think in time all things will be revealed.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and move it on over to question number 10. If you were to die this evening with no opportunity to communicate with anyone, what would you regret not saying? Why haven't you told them yet?
Um, wow, wow, that's heavy. I think I think it would be I think it would be a conversation with my daughter. I mean, I've already expressed to her how incredibly proud of her I am, but just how incredibly regretful and remorseful I am that I've been removed from her life for so long for something that ultimately is meaningless. You know, I haven't been brave enough to sit down and have that conversation with her and express just how sorry I am for not being the father that she deserves in her life. And she grew up and her parents raised her beautifully, and they did a wonderful job. But at the end of the day, it's my responsibility, as a father to provide, to protect, to nurture, to advise, and and I failed in those things, and I just haven't been able to find the words to express how terribly sorry I am to her for failing her as her dad.
Yeah, it's rough. Yeah, having a kid and like missing out in a major part of their life or her life. What age was it that you went away? How old was she?
Uh, one
Oh wow, yeah. So she was a
one
baby.
years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
And
yeah,
and, and,
a
and
year and maybe not even a year and a half. So
and like during this time, like this time that you've been away, were you receiving like pictures or were you able to talk to her over the phone? Like how was your communication with her? Being that she was so young and
um,
obviously you had to rely on other people, for them either to take her up to visit you, pictures and letters or things of that nature.
I mean, I watched her grow up over through pictures and through letters. I mean, I still have like every letter that she wrote me from when she was like in elementary school until her teens. I have every single letter right here in a keepsake. And yeah, so that's pretty much through pictures and letters. Fortunately, she's been gracious enough to allow me in her life, and and we've been able to begin to kind of close the distance. But it's difficult, because for all intents and purposes, she knows she who I am and what I've done, and you know, and that's pretty much the extent. So it's been difficult trying to close the distance, and I know that you know pragmatically and emotionally that I can't expect anything of her. I would love for you know for our relationship to just be super close and for all of these years just to collapse and fade away. But unfortunately, life doesn't work like that. She's had her own life and without me, and so I know that the most important thing for me to do is to just to think about her and what's best for her, whatever that is, even if it doesn't align with what my wants are for our relationship moving forward. You know, as I know that I just have to put her first. In whatever that means.
Yeah, and I'm glad. I mean, it's hard. I mean, I'm sure something hard for you to deal with, but I mean, where you're at. I mean, how very little that you could do. Pretty much you're at Um, I can, I can't even describe it. What you're going through. With that whole relationship and whatnot. But at least you have some type of contact with her.
Right, right. And there's, where there's life, there's hope, so there's hope.
Absolutely. And I'm looking at the comments right now. I just want to go ahead and I don't want to lose track. Earlier on, when our call was disconnected, I had asked what everybody had done for the weekend, and Aquatic Amigo responded, and he put not
This
much,
call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
and he put not much for this weekend. I work 7 days a week, so I just chill, relax. I go for walks and just take it easy. Yeah, oh man, working 7 days a week, man. I don't even want to work 2 days a week, seven, let alone 7 days.
Man,
Yeah.
yeah, you out there getting it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back out to the workforce, man. And like, like this experience in particular school, like it's made me so competitive, and like I cannot wait to get back out, get back home, and to get back into school out there, and just go through all of the normative experiences as a student in society and work, and like I just can't wait, man.
Yeah, I bet I wouldn't, man. I wouldn't be able to wait either. I'm telling you, like when you come home, that just walking is like like when they tell you here, like you're suitable, and then you gotta wait that time, for that what is it, 120 days? I think I keep on forgetting. I don't remember if it's 120 or 150, and then they give you your
Yeah,
date and
I think it's 150.
150. Okay, and you know you're gonna go home, and then like you're not gonna be able to fall asleep the night before, and then everything's gonna probably be moving like really slow, and then you're gonna be walking out them gates. It's gonna be a surreal moment.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, I came into prison with 24 to life and believing that, for all intents and purposes, that I was gonna die in this place in one cell or another, So I mean, just having the opportunity, to earn my way back into society has been something that's lifted my spirits, and I mean to know that I'm this close to that being realized. I mean, like it's just it is going to be surreal stepping out of here. It definitely is.
Yeah, and I can't wait to receive that call. You letting me know that you've been found suitable. So it's gonna happen sooner than later, and for you, you got a hearing coming up really soon. So I'll be waiting for that phone call with that good news.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I'm gonna have to have you come down and film it.
No doubt, I'll be there. I'll call in sick if I'm scheduled to work one or two of those days out of that week.
Save the sick day for me.
Yeah. All right. So then, also from Aquatic Amigo, pleasure being here. I learned a lot from the gentleman on here. Thank you for all your knowledge and help. Much love and respect. So, and that's what we're doing. It, even if these talks, are not reaching the masses, as long as it helps one person, it's all worth it. Ultimately that's my goal, and that's when that's what I want to get out of this. Uh, yeah, like a lot of people are probably not going to be interested in this just because I'm not pushing the normal prison narrative, if you will. But I think I think this will be more beneficial for the general public than than talking about other
Uh,
things that are happening in prison.
Absolutely, and you're pushing a real narrative, because after all the smoke clears, the tear gas clears, and 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 the violence is done, and all of the stuff that people tend to glamorize, you know, there's reality. There's the trip to the hole. There's the years spending back there. There's the there's the being sprayed up and with OC pepper spray and having it burn you for 3 days.
Hmm.
Like this isn't a sexy place.
Yeah, and then ultimately we're obviously also getting we're getting the edited version, to make it look a lot more glamorous than. Well, it's not even glamorous. You can't even say more glamorous than it is, because it ultimately is not. Prison is not glamorous. It's not a glamorous place to
No,
be, and it's kind of like playing high school football. Eventually
You have 60 seconds remaining.
people are eventually gonna get tired of listening to that high school football game. Everybody already knows how that game played out, and where it ended
right.
up. So yeah. All right. So I know this call's
Yep.
about to cut off like always. If you want to go ahead and give me a call back, and then we'll go ahead and continue with the rest of the with the questions.
Okay.
All right. Perfect. And I want to go ahead and thank Nunez underscore family blog. See you right there, and hello to you. So right now, as soon as he calls back, we'll go ahead and continue with the rest of the questions. I had a total of 12 questions, and today we'll be able to finish up the rest of them, and then we'll get to move on to other. I'll give me a moment.
This call is now being recorded.
This is Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Silas Johnson.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
All right, Silas, thank you for calling us back, and I'm gonna go ahead and continue with the rest of the questions, and this is gonna be a good one here. Um, so it's gonna be what role does love and affection play in your life?
Wow. Um, love and affection is it's everything, man. It's everything. I mean, you pick the toughest guy in here, and the biggest, the baddest, the most violent dude in here, and they want love and affection. Yeah. But I think one of the tragic ironies of you know just gangland culture in and of itself, and a lot of the people that are involved in criminal pathology is that deep down the only thing that people are searching for is just love, you know, and most of us are just so lost that we do all of the wrong things to try and acquire it. We try and acquire it from our homeboys or from or from fast women and just different different avenues that really don't last. For me, I mean the love of my family, particularly the love of my parents and my brothers, that's been what's got me through. I have I have different cousins and that have been with me this whole time as well. You know, um, I've had several relationships since I've been incarcerated, and I mean it's extremely difficult to maintain a romantic relationship under these circumstances. I mean there's the absence, there's the lack of consistent physical intimacy, which is a huge thing, and then there's the trust, trust is a huge thing. Um, it's it's really really difficult, for someone in here as well as in society, to put their trust in a relationship of this magnitude, because it's just, I mean, you just never know, So yeah, it's, I mean, love and affection plays a huge role in my life. Um, I haven't, romantic wise, I haven't always got things right, and I'll be the first to admit that I came in here as a 23-year-old young man, and for all intents and purposes, I've grown into a man in here. So the romantic side of things have been kind of tricky for me, and I mean, hell, I'm playing her tonight, but it's important. I mean, at the end of the day, love is everything, So um, yeah, yeah, love and affection is everything to me.
And you know what? I think, especially where you're at, it's difficult. I mean, it's difficult. I mean, luckily now you guys got that tablet, so you could reach out and communicate and video chat and whatnot with with your partner. But ultimately, yeah, I'm sure it's very difficult, especially when it comes to communication. I know I have a huge problem, with communication, and I've been working on this for the last maybe like the last 10 years with my wife. She's my wife now, but um, it's hard. It's hard. I came from a family that I would say wouldn't we wouldn't communicate. So my wife would ask me questions, and I'll get mad. I'll get upset. It would bother me. And then she started pointing stuff out, and slowly but surely it started making sense. So now I still have my shortfalls or shortcomings, but the more you do it, the easier
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
it becomes um with the person you're in a relationship with, because obviously your partner can read your thoughts or whatnot. If they could, then we'll be living in a whole different world. But yeah, she's always saying
Right.
communication is the key. So, but I use it too. When she don't tell me stuff, I tell her, hey, well, what happened? You're always talking about, you're always preaching all this communication. You failed to communicate with me today. What happened, huh? And it's always a nice tool to be able to use when when you could use it on the person that's showing you how to communicate.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I think it's important for what I don't think happens enough. I don't think people are clear about their intentions, about what their expectations are. A lot of people, you know, a lot of people get into relationships, and for different reasons. I mean, obviously you may find someone aesthetically appealing or, physically attractive, but I mean, or to me, like the love thing is the emotion of love. Like eventually that intensity is going to burn away, and when it does, you need to find yourself with someone that you, for one, and the most important thing is that you can trust. The second is someone that you can communicate, your desires and your needs, and have someone, that's going to be willing to compromise with you, and when you're not at your best. So I think it's important that, for me at least, I've found that it's just important to make sure that the person that you're getting involved with is the person you want to get involved with. Right.
Oh, sorry. While I was talking, I didn't realize the mic was on mute. Could you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was on mute.
Yeah, I could hear you the whole time.
Oh, okay. I
No,
guess.
no, I could hear you the whole time.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
I,
my brother was telling me that there were like a lot of, like a lot of people that were on the shows, and they got out, and they didn't necessarily connect with the person that they were with. Um, I think kind of maybe people in here could get a bad rap. I mean, obviously there are users in here just like there are users in society. I mean, you have people who are quote unquote prison groupies who think that this is some kind of, notch on the, kind of like glamorous or, and then once they get with somebody, and the novelty of being with someone in prison wears off, then they're looking for the next high. But I think the prison, for the most part, for people in here, is a place of powerlessness. And so a lot of times when men are involved in relationships, and I'm not talking about the men who are in here and they connect with women and they're with the usury, they want to play different women and see what they can get. No, I'm not talking about that demographic. I'm talking about, the guy in here who wants, a loving, nurturing, and, a solid relationship, but because of the lack of access to a dating pool, they just haven't found anyone. When these type of men, endeavor a relationship with a woman, I think a lot of times what you see is there's an imbalance of power in the relationship. And what I mean is that, for the most part, men in here in a romantic relationship where it really matters are powerless. If the only thing that a woman needs to do to break up with somebody in here is to refuse mail, stop accepting phone calls, and don't text back, and the relationship is over. So a lot of a woman in a lot of ways has a lot of power. And I think sometimes the women and the men, if there are women incarcerated, can use that, and use that in a manipulative way, to keep someone under their thumb. And so I think that the incarcerated individuals, they go through that while they're in here, and they stay in these relationships for whatever reasons that they have, and then once they come home, they're bitter about the things that have taken place. And then they feel like, okay, well, now the rabbit has the gun, and now this is what's going to happen now. I think people should be more careful, and more communicative about what they want, but more careful when they get involved in these relationships about treating your partner as an equal. And I know that's very difficult to do in a situation like this, but my mentality is, if I'm in a relationship, a romantic relationship, I want the woman that I'm involved with to behave as if I'm at home. I wouldn't want a woman doing something that she wouldn't do if I was right there at the house at home. And for me, that's the only way that a romantic relationship can work.
Thank you for sharing that, Silas. Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. Yeah, being upfront and knowing what you want from the gate, it's always going to be best. But uh, it's kind of hard, when the two people are in different pages.
I
And
mean, and that's
go ahead.
okay if you are, just got to be honest. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go. I totally forgot what I was going to say. If you had a comment to say, go ahead and you got the mic.
No, I was just stressing the importance of, just being honest. That's the most important thing. If both people are honest and, two consenting adults are communicative, they can, you can figure it out.
And you know what? Right now, that with that question, it kind of got my my thought process going on, and I think that maybe next time we talk, maybe we could get into like how to build or how to start a successful relationship while you're in prison. Because obviously, you can't. It's not like you could go out on date night or watch movies or think, be intimate. So I think you being where you're at and you're currently in a relationship, if you could kind of give us some insight uh, and how to navigate that. I think it'll be beneficial to our audience or anybody that's contemplating or thinking about starting a relationship with somebody that's currently incarcerated.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you don't mind, I'll give one tip.
Okay, go for it.
when you were talking about you can't watch movies. You can watch movies together. We have a library of movies on the tablet,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the things that I've done is you can access the movie and time it and get off of the phone because you can't be on the phone while you watch the movie on the tablet.
Mm-hmm.
And each of you watch the movie and then check back in an hour later and, dialogue about the movie, about what's going on. And, so that way you're still sharing the experience in a linear manner. You're just not like on the phone while you're doing it. So that's a little something that's worked for me. So as far as that build in that little quality time, so that's something that people can actually do.
You know what? Because my mind works a little bit different than everybody else's, but I think I might have a way where you can actually watch the movie while, like, if you're doing like video chat, where you can actually watch the movie
You have 60 seconds remaining.
while you're on video chat with your loved one or whoever you're speaking to, and it's not even that expensive. It'll probably cost you like 10-15 bucks for the part you need, and then well, obviously you just got to pay for the video calls. um but I think
Huh.
it is possible because I was doing it with my buddy. I would share with him, like, when we would be on the GTO Visit Me now. Like, I would jump on YouTube and I'll be like, "Hey, look, you want to
Okay.
check out the beach?" I would jump on YouTube, boom, boom, and then I would share what I was looking at my screen, and he could actually see like Venice Beach, or hey, you want to check out the Strip in Vegas? Boom, let me find a live camera in Vegas, or let me see, like, you want to go to wherever you want to go, like, that have a feed for. I could share with you on my screen. So I actually know a way how you could accomplish that
This
if you're
call
interested.
and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Yeah. So I could give you the
Oh wow,
blueprint on how to
that's
do something
dope.
like that. Yep. And I think the call just got cut off right now. He should go ahead and be calling us back shortly. And once again, I appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to these conversations. I know they're not what the majority of people want to listen to, but I feel that these type of conversations uh, do have some value, and might help you guys out if you're dealing with somebody that's incarcerated. You got a friend or a family member, and maybe it'll help you cope or keep in contact with your loved ones a lot easier.
This call is now being
This is
recorded.
Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Silas Johnson.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. All right. You're back on. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and read off the last question here. It took us over the course of 3 days, to get through these 12 questions, and I think it's because the
Okay.
chat is not blowing up today. So we'll go ahead and finish it up today. So the last question is gonna be question number 12, and for what in your life do you feel most grateful for?
Well, that's easy. Um, I feel most grateful for my life. Um, I haven't been, a good person for most of my life. I've done a lot of bad things. I've made a lot of bad decisions that hurt people. And that said, I've been fortunate enough to this point to have the opportunity to turn my life around and to rewrite my story and to begin to remediate some of the harm that I've caused. And, as a teenager and as a young adult, I've known a lot of people who, were innocent or at least not as far down the road of depravity as I've gotten. And they made one mistake, as teenagers, and they're dead. They're not here anymore. So, with that perspective, and knowing that as much harm as I've caused,
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
that I still have an opportunity, breath in my lungs to learn, to turn things around, and to keep learning, and to be the best human being that I could possibly be. I'm incredibly grateful for. So yeah, that's the thing that I'm most grateful for in my life is my life.
Thank you for answering that, and that was definitely a good answer. So right now, this is gonna be our last phone call right now because my wife just walked in with my daughter, and my daughter's asking me questions I can't answer. She's asking me uh, who am I talking to, and why they're in jail. So I don't think she's gonna understand. I don't think she's gonna understand that.
Yeah, that's not a conversation you want to broach.
Yeah. So, is there anything, anything that you've been thinking about maybe in the last few days that you want to share with our audience today?
Oh wow, um, wow, there's a lot actually. Just one of the one of the things is just familial and community support for people who are actually residents in prison. I think it's incredibly important. There are a lot of people out there in organizations like the Anti-Recidivism Coalition, the Alternative to Violence Project, um, Initiate Justice. That there are tons of people out there who are doing the work to change laws in here and to make the conditions in here better as far as making this a therapeutic and educational environment so that people can come in here and have an experience in here that's enlightening and make going home, an experience, where they can actually just not survive out there but thrive and do it without harming people. So if there's something that I could probably encourage or implore, it's just for people to look into supporting these places. Initiate Justice is like really a really important mechanism for getting bills passed and laws changed and getting lower socioeconomic individuals and impoverished individuals the opportunities that we should have, from Jump Street. So yeah, so that's I would just say, supporting your loved ones in here and supporting these organizations, community organizations who are doing the work, boots on the ground to help create a fair and balanced society. So yeah.
And thank you, Silence. And we do have Elias man just came in. He said, "Hey everybody," and then Aquatic Amigos put in a happy face, and then we have Aquatic Amigos saying hi to Iceman. So a little bit late, but better late than never, right?
Absolutely. Hey, what's up, Ice? Absolutely.
I mean, ultimately, I mean, we're doing this, for them, to put out the message, and hopefully, we're able to reach, the people that need to hear this message. From what I see in the analytics, it's bringing in people that are within our age range, and the majority of people are actually
Right.
tuning in from LA County. A large portion of our viewers are coming from California, and mostly from LA County and surrounding areas or whatnot. So, um,
Yeah, yeah. I don't hate that. I'm an Angelino, so what's up, La La Land?
right? Yeah. So I mean, I think the things that we went through as kids, are still going on, um, and I think that's why a lot of these people are tuning in, because they can relate to a lot of the things that you've been through, maybe some of the things I've been through, um, and maybe are looking for something positive to listen to, and hopefully, we could provide we could provide them with some of that, to help them, find a direction in their life if they still haven't figured it out. Because me personally, it took me years to figure out, what I wanted to do. I was in my 30s. I still didn't know what I was gonna do with my life, and sometimes it's not easy. Some people know what they want to do when they're kids, and some people like me, I never really figured it out until till I was in my late 30s, almost 40.
Yeah, but and that's a beautiful thing, man. I mean, that's pretty much when I began to hit my stride, as a person. Is I mean, once you figure out your purpose, everything else becomes clear. Everything becomes clear, because you're gonna be intentional in the things that you think, the things that you say, the things that you do. For me, everything is about just getting me to my goals. If it doesn't, if it's not, if it doesn't coincide with that, then I just get rid of it. So yeah, it's definitely important to ask yourself questions. About what is it that you love. What is it that you love to do. How do you want to spend your time? Nobody wants to spend their time in a dead end job. Working for 20, 25 years, and yeah, okay, maybe you've raised a family, and maybe I mean, I don't even know about buying a house now in California. I mean, who knows about that? But, maybe you've done your job, but what good is that if you don't derive any type of meaning, from your life? So, yeah, I think purpose is important.
Yeah. That, as far as buying a house in California, yeah, it's difficult. I mean, unless you got money like that, yeah, it's gonna be definitely hard, and it's probably gonna take a few people to actually pitch in to get a house. But yeah, you doing it on your own, it's hard. It's hard. It's. I mean, over the last I would say at least 13, 14 years, it's changed. I remember when my sister told me she got her house, and when she told me how much her house cost her, it became apparent, and I realized that I was never ever gonna be able to own a house in Los Angeles, let alone in California, and I couldn't even afford to pay rent. I couldn't even move out because I wasn't making enough money on the job that I was working at. So it's rough. It's definitely rough out there. If you're not if you don't have a whole lot of money.
Yeah, that's why I'm busting my ass in school, so I can get out and make a whole lot of money.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, if if the state is providing you with education, the best thing you could do is take advantage of it instead of just
Yeah,
just
I
being in
mean,
there and not showing,
yeah,
not coming home with anything.
like you said, I mean, the best thing you could do is invest in yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. When we got seven viewers today, so we're doing better than we started originally. You remember when we went live for the first time?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And some days
Yeah,
we're
we
even hitting
definitely
like,
made some progress.
yeah, some days we're hitting 20 people. So people are listening here and there. Like I say, it's not the content that everybody wants to. Maybe if I put some knives on the thumbnails, people start coming in more often. Um,
Some
I'll
some
clickbait them with
some skull and bones, some skull and bones, you know. yeah,
yeah, but
yeah. I don't. Ultimately, I think it's about quality, not quantity. As long as as long as the right people hear it, that's what's gonna make a difference.
Wow. So Aquatic Miko just put a comment right now. He said, "Yeah, houses in Tacoma are going for 80,000, 3 bedroom and 2 bath. Man,
Oh, yeah, wow.
yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be rough getting back out there to the workforce, but yeah, I got a 5-year plan, and my 5-year plan is to be in Porter Ranch, so I'm gonna have to do something extravagant.
Hey, you know what? Let me
I'm
ask
ready
you right
for
now.
it.
That you said that you have a 5 year plan. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Well, from the time you go home.
A thrice over published writer, a master's degree uh, on in school for my PhD. Um, Probably, definitely married, settled down and married, and yeah, like I said, Porter Ranch, man. You heard it here first, man. So you're gonna be able to call me on it in 5 years after I get out, man. Porter Ranch,
You know what? And
a house in Porter Ranch.
I just realized I misspoke on the prices the prices of the home. It's 800K. What I think, did I say 80K? Um, yeah. So
Right, right.
yeah, you're not gonna buy anything for 80K. You can't even buy a crack house for 80K anymore. Yeah. So
you you can't even buy a lot for 80K.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you might be able to buy one in like Kansas or something, but yeah, in California, no way, it's not gonna happen.
Hell, Detroit, you could buy a whole block for $80,000. A whole block of lots.
Yeah, now the crackheads are included for free.
For real, they throw them in, stems included. Stems.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
All right, Silas. Well, it's already she spoke already. We're down to the 60 seconds. Once again, I want to go ahead and thank you, for calling us in and sharing, and sharing and answering these questions for me. We're definitely gonna have you back sometime this week. I just gotta figure out what day. My wife's been telling me that I gotta get in like a steady schedule, choose like a few days that I'm gonna be jumping on to, so everybody can know what time and what day we're gonna be getting on. I still need to get to the drawing board and kind of figure it out. And then I want to go ahead and
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I want to thank everybody that tuned in. And if you want to say any parting words.
Thank you guys for listening, and thank you for having me, man. Everybody stay safe out there, and man, see you next time.
All right. Well, we'll be in contact then, Silas. You go ahead and have yourself a good night. All right, guys, the call was cut off, and remember, I should be bringing them on sometimes this week. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to go, uh, type them down next time we're in the chat. And if you don't feel comfortable asking in the chat, you could always reach out to him through the GTL Getting Out app. And I'll go ahead and drop a link just in case you guys are interested in reaching out to him directly and asking him any questions. So there it is. I'm dropping it in. And Derek, I just saw you came in, and I wasn't able to tell him that you came in. But I'll make sure next time you're in here, I'll go ahead and let him know. And you guys go ahead and have a good night.